Stefano, parti.
XPizza.
Welcome back to 86. Today we have Chiari, Lady Boss, from New York City for all. Thank you so much for coming today, and I'm so happy to have you, and I'm excited for this podcast. I'm sure I can learn a lot from you.
Okay, ciao mondo.
Ciao everybody. All right, so let's start. I want to know a little bit more about you. When you came here, how long have you been here? What are you doing?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on 86. It's a pleasure to be at XPizza with you.
It's my pleasure.
I have been living in New York for almost 12 years. And it's been a roller coasters of challenges and emotions. But I'm still here because I love this city to death. And it's my city, like it's a lot of people's city. I initially moved because my ex was relocated for work. I had not been dreaming about living here. The first time I visited New York, I think I was 15. I was here with my dad. It was 2003. And at that time, I didn't have a good relationship with dad. But we were traveling to Canada because we have some family in Windsor. And my cousin was about to get married. So my dad wanted to make a layover in New York. And we stayed here for 5 days. Very limited budget. Guess where we stayed?
You stayed
Very limited budget.
very limited budget in the city, right? For sure. But in Manhattan or
Not at all.
not at all? I don't know. I would say like Flushing, something like that.
Flushing.
Really?
In a shithole, yes.
That's crazy.
That was insane. The room was so small. And I'm like, Dad, why are we here? I don't want to be here. And he was like, no, you're going to love it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it was hate at first sight, like hate. You know, I don't even use that word so much, but I felt like I was not belonging to this place. You know, I was a teenager. I didn't want to be with my dad.
How old were you?
About 15, probably
15.
14.
Okay.
There was no social media. I wanted to spend my summer with my friends. So I felt like I was forced to be here. And I remember that we got scammed on 5th Avenue and 42nd.
No way.
Yes, there was
Like how?
We were trying to buy a camera.
Okay.
And the guy made a copy of my dad's credit card. And I
How?
remember the store. And
Well, like
right
with,
now
with,
it's
with
a
the
jeweler.
POS?
Yeah. And I saw the guy. And I'm like, Dad, look, there's something fishy going on. And then, yeah. And we also got stopped by the NYPD on the train. So, you know, and it was 2 years after the 9/11. The vibe was not the best. So it was like a whirlwind of events that really didn't make me feel home. And I'm like, I left and I'm like, I'm never going to live in New York ever.
So for how long this like a nightmare lasted? Like
5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
Okay, but not too bad.
And when I look at the pictures, I'm like, that's not me. That's a different person.
Okay, and that time you were 15. So then you went back home. You were living in where were you living?
I was raised in Ancona, which is a city by the Adriatic Sea, right across Albania. For people that never heard of that, the region is called Le Marche.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best. and and
I went to Vasco Rossi concert 2 years ago in Ancona.
Oh, yeah?
And I really loved the landscape. All these hills, very like well maintained.
Was it summer or
It was summer. It was like July.
Did you go to the beach?
No, I actually spent like 2 days.
Okay.
No, yeah, actually, yes. The following day in the morning, I spent like 3 hours on the beach. It wasn't really like sand. It was like more like rocky, but it was cool. Yeah. No, I went to the beach. Yeah.
Do you remember which one? Because we have beautiful.
I actually don't remember the name now, but it was like very small. You have to walk downstairs, and there was a little bar. The water was so nice, actually. Like nobody talks about it, but it's super cool.
That's good.
Yeah. Keep it like that. Keep the secret.
Keep it the secret. Yeah.
And no, I really loved it. Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I was raised.
Okay.
And then I moved to Perugia for
Okay.
university. I was there for about 3 years. In the meantime, I moved to Leeds in the UK for 1 year
Nice.
for uni. And then when I went back home, I met my ex
Okay.
and I stayed in Italy for about a year. I graduated and then he got a job offer in New York, but I didn't want to move because
Okay.
of everything
Because
that I just
I
told you.
remember the bad experience.
Right, but so he left and I moved to Amsterdam because I didn't want to stay in Italy.
Okay.
Since I was little, I knew
You were you were willing to leave.
yes, I
Do you think there is a reason for this, or is it just a feeling that you had inside you?
I think part of it comes from my parents. Like my dad that used to travel Europe on a bike, and then when they got married, they didn't go on a honeymoon because I was in my mom's belly.
Oh,
So I went.
I was too when they got married.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So they took me to the honeymoon.
Actually, wait, we gotta do the proper cheer.
Grazie.
And I know that cheers.
Chin chin.
Chin. And I know that you really care about it. You have some lipstick in the teeth.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I told you to let me know.
Before she was like, please let me know because I really care about.
I hate when it happens, but yeah, girls' problems. Anyway, so I went to the honeymoon with them, like partially.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the honeymoon in the belly?
I didn't actually go to we flew to Florida.
Okay.
And my dad's sister came to Florida to stay with me
Okay.
as they were going to the Bahamas.
Okay.
So I took my first plane when I was 18 months.
Months? Oh, wow.
And ever since I enjoyed traveling and I felt the need to explore and leave my country and knowing that there's something more for me to enjoy and learn to become, a better person.
Yeah, I feel like, the best value of traveling is finding other shades of ourselves. Every time at least for me, like every time I go somewhere, I find new shades of my character. Also meeting new people inspire me. So yeah,
That's the
I'm
best
with you.
way to
I
learn
wasn't that lucky. I wasn't traveling a lot when I was young. I started recently because my family never traveled a lot, and when I started to travel, I opened my eyes and soul, and now I'm willing to travel more and more always. So
we didn't travel much,
okay,
especially because my parents were both teachers.
Oh,
My
okay.
dad was a professor. My mom was a teacher. So, and I'm the oldest of four. So there was not enough budget for everyone to travel.
So you have brothers or sisters?
Girl, boy.
Oh,
And I'm the wisest. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
But I'm the one without
You're not
kids.
old at all. Not
No,
old at
I'll
all.
never
You're
gonna be
not
old.
old at all.
My parents never used that word at home, so I don't even know what that means.
Before the podcast, she was like, "We gotta take 3 videos. I got 3 outfits." I'm like,
Yeah.
"You are super, super young, and you will be young forever."
Peter Pan.
All right. So you moved here. Okay, so you moved here because of your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah,
And
so he moved for work, and I was in Amsterdam, which I really wanted to live there. I actually have so many tattoos about Amsterdam in my body. But after about 7 months, we wanted to be together. So I tried to live in New York for a month and see how...
With him, of course.
With him, yeah.
Okay.
And
Where
see
were you living at the time?
Bushwick. Yes, Bushwick, like far Bushwick.
Okay.
Halsey on the L train.
Okay. I don't know very much that area.
Yeah, it's like it used to be I couldn't walk by myself at night. That's how
crazy.
bad it
And
was.
Talking about this, I was almost assaulted a week ago right here. I
What?
was I got off an Uber. I just crossed the street. I basically walked behind. It was like midnight on a Tuesday or Wednesday here in Seaport, and I basically walked behind the Uber. I was crossing the street, and the car would let me cross the street. So I go like Italian way, thank you, like that, no. And then I turn again and I walk, and I hear the door opening. So I turn, and I saw this guy like with a cover face approaching me, and then start running over me. And thank God I was able to run faster than him, and I escaped and I entered the place. And really, like 2 weeks ago, not even.
What was the
So
reason?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like I had like my backpack. I had a watch or something. I don't know. It was trying to rob me. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's scary.
yeah. So I mean, I'm sure it's not like it used to be in Bushwick, but still
But
you gotta be street smart.
yeah, I agree. But also, when I moved, the city was much safer. I'm not talking about like the outskirts.
So 10 years ago, 12
yeah.
years ago, the city was safer.
I felt safer. I felt way
Why?
safer.
Why you think is that? Like why you felt safer? Because there were more people? Because
There was less crime.
less crime? Okay.
There was a different government.
Okay.
And maybe I was younger, so there were maybe things I wouldn't see. I don't know. But I felt safer.
You felt safer. Okay. That's good to know. That's
Yeah.
something new to me. Okay.
So yeah.
So you moved here, you stayed a month, and then after a month you were like, no, this is not my place.
No, after a month I'm like, okay, we want to be together.
Okay, you want to be
I'll come
together.
back.
Okay.
So I went back to Amsterdam, packed everything, went to say goodbye to my family. I sold a bunch of stuff I had because I had no money, like
Of
zero
course.
money. And all the money that I made, it was around my birthday. So instead, I asked my friends, instead of giving me gifts, can you please just chip in whatever you can?
Give me money. Yeah. That's
So they
perfect.
were chipping in. People were chipping in $10, €10. People 50.
Yeah.
Whatever they could. And then I sold a lot of clothes, and I packed everything, and I brought whatever I made, and
And this was 2011.
it was January 12, 2012.
January 12.
Or January 12 or January 8, 2012. January 8.
January 8,
January 8.
2012.
Yes.
You flew here by yourself.
I did. And I was scared as...
What were you thinking when you were flying here? When I flew, I always, almost every time, fly alone, and that's the time. That's the few times of my life when I fly alone that I really get into my mind, and because maybe I don't have Wi-Fi, so I like basically disconnect to everything, and I really process in a certain way my life. So what were you thinking at that moment? Like, I'm moving to New York. What's going on in your mind?
Well, I don't know if I feel the same way that you just mentioned, because I travel by myself a lot, especially after I broke up with my ex, and I don't really remember.
But that wasn't a vacation. That was like a actual move.
No, I know. So part of my dream was becoming reality, because since I was little, I wanted to live in the States, but my dream was California.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm halfway through. So part of my dream is becoming reality. And I'm like, but still, New York, I don't want to be there, but I'm going for love, so it's going to be good. I've always been very positive. So I've always...
I can tell.
My thought process is always thinking that I'm in the right place at the right moment. This is supposed to be. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I was just taking it easy and trying to enjoy whatever the universe wanted to bring in my life. And I knew why I was doing that. So knowing why you do something,
You
it
weren't
gives you
asking
more power.
you weren't wondering so many questions. You were just like
following
the...
No, I'm
Okay.
I like to carpe diem.
Yeah.
To savor the moment and to enjoy my life to the max. And I remember when I landed, my ex came to pick me up with a balloon, and he surprised me with a night at the Hilton in the city.
That's
And then he went to work the next day, yeah. And I was like, where... Can I say bad words today?
Yeah, you can.
Where the F am I? I was on 7th Avenue, and I think it was Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah.
And I'm like, where am I going to go? Is this safe? I used not to like it when I came in 2003. And I remember that feeling of like not belonging. Like, I don't belong here. I don't want to be here. But at the same time, I wanted to be with my ex.
Okay.
So it was like...
So the sensation about the city was still not positive.
No. It took me about 6 months. And it's weird and interesting at the same time, because majority of people, let's say 99% of people, 95% of people travel and visit New York and they're like, oh my God, I love this city. I belong here. I love the energy. I love the people. I love the food. I love, the challenges. I want to move.
But probably because you moved when you came here for the first time when you were very young. So
I
no,
don't know
you don't
if
think so?
No, because I have a lot of clients that bring their kids and they're 14, 15. They already know they want to live here.
Oh, that's
and I
crazy.
knew I wanted to
That's
live in
crazy.
the States. And I when I traveled the first time, I was like seeing everything that I saw in the movie that's what I actually liked. But there was something about the city that didn't really feel a belonging.
Yeah, it's all about perception, Like if some bad experience, your brain will always keep them with him.
And then it started growing on me really fast.
Okay.
Very fast. And then it was love, like pure love. Love and hate.
So how long did you take to start loving? Of course, we always hate New York, but I think the love is always stronger. But so how long did you take to really fall in love to the city? And another question I have for you, which is for me, I took 3 years to feel at home here. After 3 years, because I had COVID in the middle. I moved 1 year before COVID here, and during COVID I went back to Italy. So before COVID, I was working a lot, every day. So I wasn't really leaving New York. I was just working and try to survive because I came and I straight opened the restaurant. So for me, I took 3 years to really feel at home. And I realized that one day when I was in Italy in vacation, and I was like, I was talking to my friend and I told him, like in a few days I'm going to go back home. And I thought to myself, oh my God, what did I just say? This is the first time I say I go back home when referring to New York. And then that was like 3 years after I came here. So how long did you take to really feel this place, your home? Your home?
Very fast, like 5 or 6 months. It was quick. Yeah.
It was super quick.
Very quick.
And what were you doing at that time?
I was a nanny.
Okay.
And I was teaching Italian at Berlitz.
Okay.
I don't know if you know the school.
No.
So it's a school that covers like 500 locations around the world.
Oh, okay.
And they teach different languages, including Italian. And I was loving my life. And I was trying to, as you said, survive. Because this city is no joke.
I'm still trying to survive.
You're not. You're thriving.
I'm still trying to survive.
Thriving.
Trust me. It's not easy.
And, okay, so you asked me to pick a song. And
okay,
the song that we're going to listen to, one of the quotes is connected to surviving.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you why I picked that song. But anyway, that's what I was doing. And
so you were a nanny, okay.
I was a nanny.
You were a teacher.
I was a teacher and a nanny.
Okay.
And
you were living still in Bushwick for how long?
No.
No, okay.
Bushwick was just a month when I moved.
Okay.
And then my ex was working every day.
Okay.
And I was going, we picked Astoria for some reason. And I was going to Astoria from Bushwick every single day to look for an apartment.
Okay.
And I will never forget that I found this place. My ex had a car, so we needed some place with a parking lot.
Yeah.
So I found this place, $1,200 for 2 bedroom and a garage in Astoria. And
I don't know if it's a lot at that time. I feel like it's not a lot, right? It's nothing.
No, it was nothing. It was nothing. But we didn't know that, real estate is crazy. So if you find a deal, you better take it.
You go for it. Yeah, of course.
But like we were both newbie, so we didn't know. And
I didn't know either.
Right.
I knew nothing.
Right.
Probably if I have known that, I wouldn't be here. If I've known that everything, I wouldn't be here.
Probably. That's how you
I wouldn't do it.
That's how you learn how to live here. But yeah, it just took me the time to talk to him face to face after work, and it was gone. So we're like, whatever you find, which is a good price, just take it. And then maybe we can move after. So we found this place, 1450, 2 bedroom.
Okay,
Astoria. And we had a backyard.
Okay, that's super cool. That's super cool.
Super cool, but the house was really old. And the second bedroom, in order to walk to the living room from our bedroom, we had to walk through the second bedroom.
To jump a river.
Yeah.
Because the rain was coming inside. It's fine.
But, you make it work.
Of course.
And you're 25, so you don't really care.
Of course. The first year, so I had, I'll tell you very shortly because it's funny. We were opening the restaurant for my family was something much bigger than what we could afford. But my willing of doing it convinced my parents to basically put almost everything they had to do it. And so we basically found the restaurant before the summer. We have a summer place in Italy, a beer and garden, that we still run. It's been like 10 years now we run. And so we found the place before the summer, and my parents were like, listen, we need you this summer here because we got to make money, so we have a little bit more budget for New York. I was like, yeah. So we signed the lease for the place, and then I spent the summer in Italy working with my parents, and then in September, in the meanwhile, we were doing construction here. We were fixing the place and everything. And then in September, I moved here right after the summer, and I had to find an apartment. And I had, it was 2018, September 2018. I was by myself. I was 23 years old, and I had $2,000 budget per month. And I wanted to stay close to the Lower East Side. I didn't want to commute, because, and so basically I went to Chinatown and I saw 2 apartments, and I was looking for an apartment that could fit me and my parents, because my parents, they were supposed to come to help me. So I was looking for a 1-bedroom, so I could sleep in the sofa and they could sleep in the bedroom, And my mom goes like, do not spend more than $2,000 a month. I was like, okay, mom, don't worry, I got it, I'll try. So I have like an hotel for 2 weeks. Hotel was super expensive, like $300, $400 a night. And then after a week walking all Chinatown, because Chinatown was the cheapest area close to the Lower East Side, I saw like 10 apartments, but they were like all, and I couldn't even show my mom the apartments because my mom would be like, no, I can't do this. And then after 10 days, I was like, oh my God, I'm spending so much money in hotel. I cannot do 2 more weeks because it's going to be like $7,000 next month. And so I called the landlord because we had already the down payment for the restaurant. So we had some financial credits already, because that's the problem, is that you don't have financial credits here when you come, You have nothing. Yeah. And so I called the landlord. I'm like, listen, I'm looking for an apartment. And he goes like, I have an apartment for you, which is very nice. You should go see it. It's right above the restaurant. I was like, wow, perfect. Let's go see it. And I saw this apartment, beautiful, huge living room. It's like 700 square feet.
Price?
All renovated. I was like, this is my dream. And so I was with the guy that was working for the landlord, and I was like, yeah, but what's the price? And he goes like, yeah, come to the office with me. So we went to the office, Upper East Side, and I remember like the whole way to the Upper East, I was like, it's not gonna be 2,000. It's not gonna be 2,000. It's not gonna be 2,000. So I get to the office. Yeah, I swear to God, I went to the office, and he goes like, Michael goes like, Gio, the apartment is like 3,000. But for you, I do $2,950. I call my mom. I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, I got the apartment. She's like, oh really? Yeah. You gotta see, it's super nice. But how much is the price? It's a bit more expensive than the budget, but trust me, it's gonna be amazing. And when I told her it's gonna be $2,900, she goes like, if you do it, you're done with me. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Don't worry, Mom. Don't worry. I got the phone and I signed. And I signed the freaking lease.
What sign are you?
I'm Libra.
Okay.
I signed the lease and I moved in. And the first night I couldn't sleep because I'm Houston and Clinton, so it's probably the noisiest corner in the street in the city. And we have like the fire department at 2 blocks away, so all the trucks are coming that way. So it was a nightmare. So the following night, I was like, tonight I'm going to get drunk and I'm going to sleep. And so I did. So yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. And I'm still there. 5 years later, I'm still in the same apartment.
Crazy.
And I love it.
Never raised?
Yeah, it raised 3%. So I'm paying a little bit more now.
It's rent stabilized?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I love it. And so,
and it's convenient.
It's convenient. Yeah. At the end of the day, it was like the best choice I did because it's already very stressful to running now 2 restaurants, and if I had to commute also, it would be even more difficult. But I would have done. But the choice of being very close was a win-win. Let's say.
Yeah. Congrats on running 2 places.
Thank you. I'm still struggling though, but yeah.
You're not struggling.
No,
you're thriving.
I'm struggling, but I love what I do, so I feel blessed, and I feel I feel like I would never complain.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's next after being a nanny and a teacher?
Ooh. So I had a dream of working on the travel business,
Okay.
and I knew I wanted to work with people, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I didn't have an exact idea of what I wanted to do, but I knew what I liked. So travel, people, and planning. And I started creating customized itineraries for people.
Okay, how?
Actually, how? I made a questionnaire and I tested, like, I sent it to some friends and friends of friends and friends of my ex. And
But how do you do on Word?
Yeah, on a Word. And then I
Okay.
would print it out.
Okay.
But it was not worth the money because I was only charging $50 and I was working like 3 or 4 hours.
For
So I'm
each.
like,
For each. Of course.
Because I was still like I knew a lot by that time, but you know,
Yeah,
you're
of
not
course.
a pro.
Of
You'll
course.
never be. I don't know. New York is just so wide and so never. You never end learning.
Once you think you're good, you see someone else that is
Yeah.
much better, and you're like,
No,
no,
it's
I'm
not
not that
about
good.
that. It's not about
Ah,
that.
it's not about that. Okay.
And I don't believe that, and I
Okay,
tell you
that's cool.
why.
Tell me
'cause
why, please.
The
Please, because-
skills you have, they will never have.
Oh, that's
And
true.
the
That's true.
personality you have, nobody can steal it from you.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I don't feel the competition. I don't
Okay.
care about the competition.
And that's I think it's a step that we all should do in order to survive here, because
Yeah.
we will always see someone that we think and we will we would love to be, but at the end is a mistake that we do. Because
Yeah,
we
but
are
remember that where you are now is where you were dreaming to be 5 years ago.
No, much more, much more.
So
Yeah.
so where you would like to be now, you're gonna be in 2, 3, maybe 1 year. You never know.
Yeah.
And the people you look up to are not necessarily competitors. They're gonna be the people that are inspiring
Exactly,
you to do
exactly.
more. That's the way
agree.
I see.
I agree 100%. Yes, but sometimes I still
I
have
know, I
it. I
get
think
it.
we all still have it a little bit. I'm trying to avoid that because it's a limit. Like.
What I don't like is
Yeah.
people that don't do their work with honesty. And I don't like when people try to take the shortcut.
Yeah.
So it's not about competitors, and it's more about, let me take a shortcut so I can get there before
There's
her.
no shortcut will kill you.
Yeah. I mean, I
100%.
believe in karma, so
I believe in karma as well.
that's it.
Everything comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't never know when, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah,
In the
after
good and in
nanny
the
and
bad.
that, the customized itineraries.
Yes.
But it went on for about 2 years. And I remember my ex keep asking me, what do you want to do with your life? What's going to be your job? What do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was laid back from the family of my dreams because of my tattoos. I have to say this. They love, like, mom and grandma loved me to death. But father's side, they wouldn't really appreciate my way of being and my tattoos. And they were looking for someone to spend the summer in Rhode Island.
Okay.
So they had to let me go. But we're still in touch. I still see the kids sometimes. I love them so much. Benjamino, I love him. I'm his first love. I took him when he was 4 months.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then, so I moved around different families, and I remember this family that is the one that actually inspired me to open my company. Very posh, very rich family from the Upper East Side,
Okay.
Park Avenue. Quite spacious apartment. They had 1 kid, and I don't mind mentioning the name, but the kids. Anyway, I love kids, and I was getting really attached to the kid. Before they hired me, it took them 1 month going through the paperwork and interviews and
Sorry, they hire you as a
nanny.
As a nanny, okay.
As a nanny for
And they had 1 kid.
only 1 kid.
Okay.
And they had 4 nannies.
Okay.
4
Oh
nannies,
my
1 kid.
God.
Italian nanny.
More
I was-
nannies than parents.
Exactly.
I love it.
Double. So they had I was working for them 3/4 days a week. 12, 13 hours a day.
Okay.
So let's say I was waking up at 5 to be there by 7 and finish around 7:30 and be home by 9, something like that. And then they had the night nanny, they had the weekend nanny, and they had the English nanny, right? So the process took, I'm telling you this, why?
Yeah.
Because when I was let go by them, I remember they never came back home together. Never.
No
One
way.
day they did. One day they did. It was December.
That's very New
right
York.
before
That's so New
Christmas.
Yorkish.
What?
That they're not coming back to home together. Like
Yeah.
they would go out for dinner and
Yeah.
then they would come back alone or with someone else.
Yeah.
Alone. I hope.
Alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least.
Either mom or
At
dad.
least.
Either mom or dad was coming home. So they come home together and they're like, Kiara, we got to talk to you. Come to the couch. Come to the living room. So I go there. I'm like, you've been an amazing nanny. Clark learned so much from you. He now speaks Italian thanks to you. Blah, 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 blah. Today was your last day. Give us your key.
No way.
I was like, what? I was shocked.
And they did a visa for you, right? The paperwork.
no.
I don't know.
No,
okay,
it's
so
not about
I
the
thought
visa.
you were.
No, it was more like I was heartbroken by a family, and I had to say goodbye to the kid, and we were like getting close
In one day.
in one day, and I'm like, do you know the harm that you're doing to your kid? First of all, having 4 nannies. Second, letting me like not preparing the kid to detach from the person that he's trying to,
Yeah.
you know.
That they recognize. That they have
Right.
been recognized also.
And also, I love your kid. I don't want to say goodbye from night to day. And they're like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you took a month to hire me. So that means the past month, you were hiring someone else. And you did it in my back.
But what was the purpose of this? Like, why?
I don't know.
You
And
you
I don't
still
care.
Now you still don't know.
I don't know. And
you
don't
don't care.
I was so heartbroken.
That's
like
that's
a
insane.
relationship, right?
Yeah, it is a relationship.
Yeah.
It's love. It's love because when you are in touch with the kids, you start to love the kid.
But thank God or thank universe that happened
Of
because
course.
that's when I started my company. So I went to Canada to see my family,
Okay.
and I took like few weeks off, like about 3 weeks, until the new year, 2014. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Okay, let's open a tax ID. So I opened the tax ID.
Okay.
I signed for New York City for All, which is my travel company, and I'm like, where am I starting? And that was my challenge number 1. I had no idea how to find
Sorry, when
clients.
was this? 2014? 14, okay.
January 7th, 2014, I signed up for my tax ID, and I opened my company.
So you moved January 8th and you signed January 7th.
January 7th, yeah. And what I did the first month, I listed down all the travel companies in Italy because that's my niche. I work with Italian tour operators, travel companies, and clients. I called them every day. I was like, hi, this is Kiara. I just opened a travel company. I'm going to be a tour guide.
25? Okay, it's fine. All right.
Too much?
No,
We're
no,
talking
no.
too much?
No, I love it.
And everyone was like, okay, we don't care, bye. So that was like the hardest.
Yes, of course.
The
Accepting
hardest.
no's is like the worst.
Yeah.
When you start.
When you start, yeah,
When
you
you
have
start.
nothing to show. You have no feedback, no reviews, no past clients,
I
no
feel
portfolio.
I feel you.
So I was like, how am I gonna do this? And then I'm like, ooh, live videos on Facebook. I was the first one to go live on Facebook every single day. I was going live and I was showing something about New York every single day.
2014.
14. And I think I grew 46,000 in maybe 2 months.
Love it.
And I'm like, that's how I'm going to find clients. I was also blessed and lucky, if you want to put it that way. I don't believe in luck much. I do believe in like a balance of both. Because sometimes luck passes by, but you don't catch it. So you have to catch it.
But sometimes also bad luck pass by, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That's true. So I got a group of 50 people.
okay.
And
That's
I will
crazy.
never forget.
50?
50. And I was like a new
No, this
tour
is
guide.
was the first big group that you had, or you okay?
Right away.
The
Right
first
away.
group was
First
50.
group was 50 people.
That's crazy.
And I mean, I'm wearing many hats. I'm a business owner. I'm a storyteller. I'm a content creator. I'm also a licensed tour guide. And I was guiding them around the city. And I remember the chaperone, the leader.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, maybe you should tell more about this. Or maybe
So
you should
this was a collaboration so that you did with
with a
a travel company, with an Italian travel company, right?
Yes.
Okay. From where are they?
Somewhere in the north.
Okay.
And I remember that.
So they contacted you because they saw your videos, right?
They saw my videos. Yeah, they saw.
And so it's always about attract things rather than try to go for it.
They liked my energy.
Of course.
But I was new, and I was still trying to customize my tours and understand how to.
So you didn't feel ready?
Not at all.
Like me today
Not
for
ready.
this podcast.
You're so ready. So I wasn't ready. I wasn't feeling ready, and the guy was not making me feel uncomfortable. Actually, he inspired me to not learn more, but how to package the tour and actually understand what people wanted to hear.
Okay.
And I remember the
course.
questions, right? And ever since, like when you take
You remember the question? Sorry, which questions?
the questions the guy was asked, like I was on a bus tour, right?
Okay.
So when you're on a bus,
Okay.
you have your mic.
Yeah.
So most of the time you talk and then you take breaks.
Yeah.
Right? You take breaks. When you take breaks, the guy was asking me questions. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I can talk about that.
Okay.
Because I was just thinking about history. I'm like, no, that's not the type of tour I want to lead.
Okay.
And that's how I started to get the flow and understand what Italians were interested in.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay, I want to do customize. I don't want to do what everybody does. I always hate to do
You
what
want to do
people
customized, so you want to be a niche kind of thing. Like you want to be like a...
Yeah, it could be a niche, but it could also be for people that actually really want to live the way we live. That was my goal.
You want to be local. You want to be...
I wanna
you
show
want to
the
be
local
New
stuff.
York,
Yes.
the real deal.
The real deal, because everybody shows not the real deal, you know?
It is true.
And
Not everybody, but the mainstream ones does.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
And I saw on your website, and I thought to myself, that's very cool. You have like 3 categories of like target. You have like people that never came to New York,
Yeah.
people that came sometimes, and people that actually live in New York.
Yeah.
So probably I will do a tour with you.
Okay.
I would love to.
think
I have so
something.
many things to learn.
And regarding to this, I just launched tour guides,
Okay.
digital guides
Okay.
in Italian, and they're gonna come out in English in about 2 weeks, and they're all about some hidden gems and speakeasy and rooftops and basically what I show on social media, because that's another side of my hat. But
Wait, let me fix it.
my bow or my hat?
A little bit. Yeah.
My bow is my
okay,
hat.
better.
What was I saying? I lost the chain of
That
thoughts.
you have this new, you're doing like a local tours about
yeah.
speakeasy, restaurants, new
I
restaurants.
I was saying that I don't really like to do what everybody does.
That's the way I try to work too.
Yeah, I don't like the mass. I like unique, exclusive, and I like to attract like-minded people. I always think that quality over quantity. Always. I don't need to make money. Money come to me, and I want to create a relationship with my people.
I love it.
I really don't care about the money. That's why.
Once you don't care about something, that thing
Yeah.
come to you. That's
Yeah,
crazy, right?
You attract that always.
Of course.
And that's why.
You don't have to care about it, but you have to kind of respect that it's not about not caring. It's more about trying to escape from them a little bit smartly.
Yes, I mean don't get me wrong. You need money to survive.
Of
And
course.
of course, money is good.
Of course.
They make your life easier.
Of course.
But that's never been my goal.
yeah.
That's why I
If
never.
money is your goal, and if you're chasing money, you're not.
Maybe you're gonna make a lot of money.
Maybe.
But you're gonna be
Yeah, yeah.
unsatisfied and you're gonna be miserable
Most
for your
likely.
life.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Actually,
So-
probably not most likely. Probably, yeah. It's 100% sure.
So yeah, when I started,
So you started.
I think I was the only Italian woman.
So the
opening
first
a
group
company.
of 50 people came when? When was it? 2000.
April 2014.
You remember perfectly the dates. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm good with numbers.
The moments that change your life are not gonna be forgotten. Never.
I remember the moment that changed my life.
Is
But
one?
it's not
No,
that.
there are many. There are many. I don't think there is one. No. There are few. No, like.
I would say few, but there's
when you got
one-
robbed, in Fifth Avenue. It's all about. But there is one that
I
is
don't
specific.
think that changed my life.
There is one that is that for you is like the main one.
The pivotal moment.
Oh yeah.
The
You
pivotal
wanna
moment.
share? You wanna share it, or do you wanna keep it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The pivotal moment was 2015
Okay.
when my ex broke up with me.
Okay.
So we didn't break up. He broke up with me.
Okay.
I want to make this very clear because, because it took me 3 years to recover. And the pain I was going through, I mean, something I've learned is never compare the pain.
Never compare the pain.
With other people.
Never share what you
compare.
Never compare. The
like
pain that you have with other.
pain.
What do you mean? Like never tell people how you feel in that moment?
Compare.
Compare.
Like the pain you could feel by a breakup.
You can never compare with another person's
No,
pains, of course.
Because you don't know what I'm going through, right?
So people that were judging you, that's what you're saying?
No. I'm saying that the pain was really, really unbearable.
Okay.
And I was not eating. I was not sleeping. And I was looking for help. And I usually when I felt sad, I would always go to my grandma. My grandma was my wisest side. And so I went to Italy in February. I never go to Italy. I never. He broke up with me on January 29th. I remember. 2015. I went to see my family and my grandma. And that was a tough choice because I had a ticket to California where I used to live at that time because he moved.
Okay.
But I decided to go to Italy and I saw my grandma and she told me, Kiara, when you do things for a long time, you have to stop doing them so that you can do them better once you take a break. And also, she wrote down a few quotes that I still have a picture. I can show you later.
Please.
If you want. And I'm like, of course, I was crying. And I'm like, I need you. Like, I want you in my life. And she's like, don't worry about it. I'll see you in June because I was going back for her birthday.
Okay.
But she passed in May.
Oh.
So losing her in that moment, for me, it was like a tragedy of my life. Because I needed someone.
It was the only anchor that you had at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I have my parents and I have my siblings and I have my friends.
But the connection that you had with her was something else.
My grandma was something else. So that's when I started to travel by myself and I was scared AF. I was so scared. And I read this book about Francesca wrote a book. In Italian is Viaggiare da soli.
Okay.
Travel by yourself as a woman. So I started.
Who is Francesca?
Francesca, I forgot her last name. She's a travel blogger.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, this is the book that it's going to help me start doing what I want to do, which is traveling. But traveling by myself, I never thought about it. So I was trying to go to Jordan, but something happened at that time, and my parents were not happy about that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow one of my dreams, and I'm going to Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia.
Oh, wow.
I booked my flight. I went to La Paz. Freaking dangerous.
Yourself.
By myself. Usually what I do when I travel by myself, I read, first thing I search on Google, scams, La Paz scams. So
that's
that I'm
very good to know. That's very good to know.
Of
course for you, not for me.
Okay. But that's what I do, and that's what you can do too. So
that's what I will do.
Yes. I mean, you will never know all the scams, but you're kind of prepared.
Yeah.
So the biggest scam in La Paz, people stop you, like regular guys like us, and they're like, they ask you something, right? Like a couple. They ask you something, and then a police officer come to you, and it's part of the team. And
no way.
Yes.
No way.
And it almost happened to me. And I escaped because I read that on Google.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's very
insane.
crazy.
It's insane. And then they ask you for documents, and then they take you places, and then they rob you, and we don't know what can happen. Okay, with this said, I don't want to scare people. You can still go to La Paz. You can still go to Bolivia. But
just don't trust the police.
Don't trust the police. Don't trust anybody that asks for documents. You shouldn't give your documents to anybody if it's not like.
That's good. That's very good to know. Thank you for sharing this. That's very good to know.
You're welcome. So that's what I started to do, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared. And then I felt so sick for the altitude. And I'm like, I'm by myself. I'm sick. I'm scared. It's okay. I'm going to survive. And when I went to Salar de Uyuni, it was like the world coming to place. But then I was on a Jeep with other 6 people that I didn't know, and the Jeep broke in the desert. And it was
No
about to
way.
be sunset. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna survive tomorrow. But then, nobody was passing by, and we had nothing to fix the car.
You had
And that was
water.
my
You had
first
water at least. Water, food, something.
nothing. It was like we were going to Peru
Okay.
and then coming back.
Okay. So, and there was a guide there or something.
We
the-
had a guide. So it was a made-up group
Okay.
to go to Salar de Uyuni, where I spent one night. Actually, yeah, one night. Actually, no, sorry, 2 nights. 2 nights, and we were trying to get to the second destination. And yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna survive. And that was my first solo trip. And I'm like, if all the trips are gonna be like this, I don't know what's gonna happen. But
That's
we
fun.
eventually made it. We got to the. It was not a hotel. It was like somewhere you could sleep, and they gave us coca leaves
Okay.
because of the altitude.
Okay.
But I saw flamingos, my favorite animals. I have a flamingo here, and I was like, "This is my dream. I'm traveling. I'm meeting
Yeah.
new people. That's what I want to do. I'm speaking different languages. That's that was my goal." And ever since, 32 planes the first year. I went everywhere possible just to overcome the fear and the pain.
Okay.
And back to what I was saying, I've heard so many different stories of people like going through pain, but pain can manifest and show in so many different ways. So pain could be, a breakup. Pain could be a loss of someone. Pain could be losing money. Pain could be,
Yeah.
a delusion, something. That's why I'm like, ever since, I never compared my pain to anybody's pain. What I'm feeling, it's what I'm feeling. If you can understand, that's fine. If you don't, it's okay.
Yeah, we don't have to make them. We don't have to try to make them understand.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like it's always when we come out from pain that we level ourselves up in a certain way, and without pain,
Yeah.
probably we just settle.
No, there's no without.
There is no without. It's always there, right?
No, I mean, the strength comes from your
Yeah,
pain.
always.
Always. I agree.
Thank you for sharing this. So nice. All right. So we've been talking for 40 minutes, and she was scared. She was like, "Oh yeah, the question will come." I'm like, "No question.
No. I haven't even finished. I didn't tell you about my
Okay.
content
Exactly.
creation.
Exactly.
No,
Please.
it's okay. It's okay.
No. Go ahead. Because we want to get to where you are now. Which we're almost there, right?
Yeah, kind
We're
of.
almost there. So she did
50 countries
She did
later.
50 countries, 50 person in the first group.
Yes, 50-50.
50-50, and 50-50 is 100.
Yeah.
100% yourself.
100%. I think I found myself,
I
in
can
the
tell.
past few years. I'm at peace, and
I really feel it.
yeah,
I meet a lot of persons every day, and since when I was very young, because I started to work in my parents' bars, and when I was 14, I started to wash not dishes because it was a wine bar. I started to wash wine glasses.
Oh, okay.
And every time I used to break a wine glass,
What
my
about
dad would
girls
curse.
that would put the lipstick on?
I know how to perfectly clean that lipstick, and I always been very curious about people, and I've always been asking my parents, when you have a crowded place that you work at, you see there are 95% of the people that at that time I used to just look, so you see the aesthetic, and so you have 95%, 98% of the people that they dress pretty much the same, and then you have that 2-3% that they dress different. And so I remember asking my dad, what does that guy that dress like that? And my dad used to tell
That's
me.
funny.
So I learn. I'm still learning how to to be curious about people, and so I've learned how to really understand who I have in front of me. And in this moment, I feel that I have a person that is really doing what she loves, and she feels really, how can I say, unjudged, and nothing like. It's very nice to have you, and
Thank you.
and it's very rare, this feeling. because I always see something that is not pure, and now today I'm very struggling to find something that is not pure on you. So
Woo!
yeah,
That's the best compliment.
yes, it is.
Thank you.
Okay, so do you want to share
But
some?
do you only think that people that dress differently are
No. That's
interesting?
that's
Okay.
what I was doing when I was 14. You
Okay,
know,
okay.
I saw everybody with a white shirt. When I saw someone that with a scarf in summer, I'm like, what is it? What is it doing? Like, you know, it was
It sparked your curiosity.
yeah. It was part of my curiosity. I always see something different. You know, I always love to see something different, and I always like to. Because I really believe that aesthetic and reveals you a lot. So that's what I was doing at that time. And so from that time to now, it's been like almost 15 years that I'm working with people, and I look at people with a very attentive, I look very attentively at people. So the way they move, the way they act, I understand if they are in need of something, if they really feel good. When a person enters my restaurant, I already know almost what he's gonna eat. You know, I already know 99%.
You're really good with people.
I'm 99% of the time. Thank you for that. But 99% of the time, I'm not wrong. So, and with you, I tell you that I feel that you are living your best life.
I do, and that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
inspire people on my social media.
You are doing it perfectly. Don't worry.
You need to
Do
live
not
your
worry.
life.
You are doing that perfectly. And
If we don't live our life
that's
to the
why
max,
I invited you here.
who will?
Exactly.
Who will?
Exactly.
Nobody.
All right. I think we can now
Wrap it up.
wrap it up and play the song that you have chosen.
Ooh.
You want to tell us why you choose this song, or you want to just listen for it and just go with the flow and dance a little bit? Maybe.
Do you want to start the song and then we make a comment and then?
Let's start the song. The song is from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. It was 1982.
We were not born.
82. We were not born. My parents were, and they were partying a lot in Italy in those years. Yes, and yeah, so this is the song, the message, right?
Yes.
It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Broken glass everywhere, people pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't
Okay.
smell, can't take the noise, got no
Okay. So tell us why this song?
So last night, Joe asked me to pick a song, and I was freaking out because I love music and I can't pick a song. My favorite music is trance,
Okay.
and most of trance songs don't have lyrics. And I was looking for a song that would connect me to New York 100%. I do things with purpose, as you can tell. So I was thinking, okay, this is the 50th-year anniversary of hip-hop.
Okay.
Let me pick a hip-hop rap song. And Grandmaster Splash is one of the legends. He's one of, the first New York City DJs. And I was thinking about the message because the lyrics is all about New York, what it was in the years that I would love to have lived here, especially the first quote that we just listened.
What does it say? What does it say?
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how it keeps me from going under.
Aw.
Which is exactly what you said before,
Yeah.
like surviving. Because it's like love and hate, but then you want to stay here because it's a drug.
It is.
So this is the perfect quote, and I love Grandmaster's Fresh.
I love
and
it.
hip-hop.
All right, thank you so much for
Thank you
for this
for
podcast. It was
watching.
amazing. I'm
Grazie.
full of joy right now. Today I'm gonna do so much because you gave me a lot of energy and yes. Please
Grazie.
contact New York City for all
And Chiari Lady Boss.
and Chiara Lady Boss because she's the best.
Thank you. Grazie.
I love you. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao mondo.